Yo, YouTube, what's going on? You feel me? It's Zay right here, man. About to make a video that's coming out the depths of my heart, I thought about this for a minute. It's about black people, our culture, our tradition, Since it's Black History Month, I guess this is why I'm doing it. I mean, that's not my reason. I ain't even gonna cat to y'all. This is just a concept I thought about, and I feel like sharing it with y'all. So, yeah, the main thing about black people, about my race, about our culture, and especially today, is what we make trendy. It's what we make cool. And how bad certain things can be. The first subject I wanted to cover is about the YNs and the Huzz. So as we know, we got a whole bunch of YNs up in the world, right? It's a big thing on TikTok now, how they be having them around and everything. But the truth of the matter is, they not really the best influences for us, And the ones that's really living that lifestyle, they're not good at all. They're not really good people. And relatively nobody is. I've been watching a whole bunch of videos about dudes in the hood. It's a dude who goes around like Mississippi, Louisiana, Detroit, and Chicago. All of these places in America that are like the worst hoods, right? And there's just a whole bunch of gang violence, It's crazy really looking at their lives and the type of violence and how numb they are to the pain and the killings and how much murder and violence they really want. As we know, this is demonic, right? If you don't know, now you know. This is demonic, right? This is troubled by and riddled by a lot of generational violence issues and such, and even in family, right? Fatherlessness, right? Charlie Kirk said that's like a #1 issue for the reason why the hood is the way it is now, or the reason why people are the way they are now in the hood, right? That are doing these things, and it's true. A lot of people who don't have fathers, right? A lot of the things that they say in those videos, and I'll probably link them in the description. They don't have any fathers, And then now we have the Huzz. Now, like I'm saying, TikTok created the same exact word for them, but these are just like the bops, the thoughts, you know what I'm saying? Girls that also have no dads, but what's relative about them, excuse me, that was my phone. What's relative about them is that they are hurting themselves in their own community as women, right? Not already in the culture that we have feminism and a lot of propaganda that's going towards black women, but it's bad enough that they feel as if they have to look a certain way or to dress a certain type of way. And shoot, I mean, it's riddled. Look at our artists, right? You got Lazy Them, you got you a Baby Kid, you got you a Mulatto, you got you a Jazzy Red, you feel me? You got all of these artists that are really promoting the wrong things in the world, and they're being the role models for these people, black people, black young people, black young boys and girls. And so when they grow up, and even at a young age, they actually portray them. They represent us as a people, as young people, right? So in the culture today, we're not being looked at as people that are smart and intelligent, but we're looking at people who portray violence, glorify violence and murder, and for the women, our bodies, and sexualize ourselves as a means of being cool. But that's not cool at all. It's just a thing that we made. I say it started like in the early 2000s, when you have Lil Wayne, you got Rick Ross, you got Meek Mill, you got them coming out of the hood, and you got them saying that XY is cool, you feel me? But it's not cool. So it's like they got a beginning. It does have an origin, but it's a problem to be addressed because I don't think none of these things is cool. And we should honestly, as young black people, we should be people that's trying to push further towards our lives and work on education, right? Being closer to Christ and just doing the right thing, which we all know what the right thing is to do, but we refuse to do it because we like the life of ignorance, right? This all connects to us on our lives with sin, and just it's human nature overall, right? But in black people in general, the culture is whack. It's whack. You got a good side of the culture, where we created a whole bunch of stuff and we're really great creatives, created hip hop, the Renaissance, right, with jazz and everything. But in the culture today, we destroyed ourselves, man. So that's one really big issue to be talked about, and that's one really big issue that's just, I don't think, not talked about enough. You know, we are the death of our own people because we keep creating the culture, right? It's nobody else that's creating the culture but us of what makes something cool, you know. Lupe, a hood philosopher himself, also talked about the subject, you know, how people in the hood can have like good actual ideas that are lucrative, but you know, old dude homeboys might say, nah, that joint trash, that's lame, that's corny. And so they want to do stuff like killing people and glorify drugs and all that stuff so they can get the money and whatnot. But what matters more? Business, actually making money the right way, in the way of the American civilized way that's portrayed in how we're supposed to live it, right? Or do you want to just do it in your own way and live in violence and murder and then get locked up? What's the better way? All right, so another big thing that I completely disagree with is always blaming something on the white man. The white man is never the issue for all of our problems in America for black people. It's not. I don't think it might have been at one point. I can agree it has been at one point, right? Slavery. The white man was the issue. But ever since then, when we got free, I'm talking about free, then all the responsibility was put onto us. But ever since then, that time where we were free, therefore, all of our freedom, right, or accountability, we never fully owned it. We never fully owned our accountability. Every other race, right, in America, they're not victimized. Not that much. Not as bad as we do here as black people. Every other race understands the concept of freedom. They come here to be free, and they do what they need to do. Get a job, make money, and survive. Black people, we fail to do that. And it's mainly because of our victim mentality, right? And we blame it on the white man for everything. I could break down a lot of different issues or a lot of different things, but I'll say it like this. When we live in a country where freedom is guaranteed, right? When freedom is what we've been given, right? Because at one point, I'll agree, it wasn't free. We wasn't free. But now, we have to take the resources that we have, which is capitalism, right? In order to gain wealth, to achieve wealth, to start business, to move forward and do something lucrative with our lives. It's not in the white man's hands that's dictating our hand, that's dictating what we do with our lives. No, it's not. But in the things of relying on the government, right, with different forms of aid, Section 8, right, things like this, these are ways that are keeping us actually in the hands of the government, in the hands of the white man. But it's crazy because black people wasn't able to wake up from that. And so therefore, we do these things that keep us entrapped, but we shouldn't be. We should lean on capitalism, which is teaching us to actually do things lucrative, making business, making our own way of making money. Even outside of business, there's ways to make money. You know what I'm saying? And it's there. But if we keep relying on a white man for that, or we blame it on a white man for that, but at the same time we follow the white man or rely on a white man, then what freedom are we really getting? We cooking ourselves, bro, and it's all an agenda, it's all a plan. So we gotta really think about something else, man. All right, number 3, I got the most to say about this one, and it's probably gonna be the last. This is what we're probably gonna end the video off with. Number 3, churches. Churches ain't the issue. I'm saying this because of the culture that's been embedded in black people with church. I grew up in church, but I fell out of my belief. Okay, it's a whole big deal about this. I'm gonna explain, I'm gonna break it down. So boom, you got church in the black people as a race in America. That's a beautiful thing. And matter of fact, it's been a thing that kept us on a good term of life for a minute. But we failed to show the truth, right? We started making our church services more about talking and no demonstration. Young Zay is a believer, and if I know anything, God's word does not let me down. I have witnessed miracles, tons and tons of supernatural events and things in my life that I can only say was God. None of the supernatural is in the church, in the black church at all. And barely in any churches outside of the black church, but in the black church, that's what we're looking for. So in the culture today, when we have young men, young girls, right, go to God and they don't get anything, they get out of that quick and they go and see New Age. New Age is a concept that deals with different types of beliefs, like believing everything is energy and that you can manipulate whatever the heck you want to do. Believing in chakras, believing in different things like that. Crystals, gems, all these things that are used to really hinder us from the goal of goodness, right? The goodness in God. They really stop us, and it's honestly the plans of the enemy, right? And especially with college culture today, right? You got a lot of men and women that are in college, that got out of high school and are believing in things that are so contradictory to tradition, right? Republicanism, conservatism, I'll say that. Conservatism, and then just the church in general, right? The church culture is failed, and so now we got a lot of young black people, black boys and girls, going to different ways of living, even homosexuality, right? And the way how the enemy was able to play and to tie all of that into DEI, and to tie all of that into college culture, and to tie all of that into the Democratic plan, right? And all of these things, man. I haven't gotten into my whole little takes on a political spectrum, but I'm just giving y'all a taste of what I believe in, right? We see what's happening, right, with our people. We see what's happening with how we're just getting out of the church, right? And we see how even young black boys and girls are starting to not believe in God anymore, right? But when, as of today, it's still the culture to do church. It's still the culture to be in church. But, man, boy, is it not thriving at all. It never thrived even in my heart. It never thrived within me. So I would just know how much more is doing damage to us now, especially when it's not a guy that is proven to them, that doesn't come through, and that's letting people down. That's far from the truth, but that's what we're seeing in this world today. It's a really big issue, right? But we gotta find our way back to Christ, man. And we gotta start living. That's why it's important to live our lives in the supernatural, man.